Portugal produces about half of the world's cork wine stoppers. Most come from these trees, here in the Alentejo region. But harvesting a tree takes years of expertise and steady hands.
Há que ter paciência. Com parelhas, como a gente cá chama, que é dois homens, para se ajudarem um ao outro, com muito cuidado para não dar cabo das árvores.
We went inside the world's largest cork forest to see how Portugal produces 40 million cork stoppers a day. These are cork oak trees. They're so special. They've been protected under Portuguese law since 1209, so harvesters have strict rules to follow. The trees can't be touched for the first 15 years of their lives, and they can only be harvested every 9 years, so the bark has time to grow back in between. Since the first two harvests of a new tree don't produce the best cork, harvesters have to wait 33 years to get the good stuff. Every summer, harvesters peel off the bark using century-old techniques.
Sim, isto é machadas próprias para tirar a cortiça. Já se experimentou com máquinas, as máquinas não dão, porque depois o homem tem que ir lá na mesma tirar a cortiça.
Only the outer layer can be harvested.
Normalmente, quando se aprende a tirar a cortiça, aprende-se que a primeira machadada que está no sobreiro tem que ser devagar, para ver a grossura da cortiça. É muito difícil, tem muita ciência para se tirar, para no fim as árvores não saírem feridas. E as árvores são feridas, normalmente começa a entrar umidade, começa a entrar bicho e com o passar dos anos elas vão acabar ou por cair ou por morrer.
To prevent that, workers leave the inner layer untouched.
We can harvest the bark of the tree without damaging the bark, so these cells can grow again without any impact in the life of the tree.
Because the trees regenerate, they'll never run out of cork. The oldest tree on record is an estimated 200 years old and has been harvested 20 times in its lifetime. After the cork planks are stripped from the trees, they're pressed between concrete slabs for 6 months. Then they're sent to a processing facility to be boiled for at least an hour. That's to sterilize the planks and make them softer. This machine punches out the stoppers we see in our wine bottles. Those corks are shipped out to 100 different countries. But the rest of the cork left behind in this process isn't wasted. All that byproduct can be made into things like flooring or granulated stoppers, used to cork less expensive wines. Cork harvesting goes back millennia. Egyptians used stoppers in tombs, and the Romans used cork in shoes. Today, Portugal harvests 100,000 tons of cork every year and owns a third of the cork oak forests in the world.
That is a real retainer of CO2, protected for biodiversity. This tree that separates the south of Europe and North Africa from the Sahara Desert, so it's a barrier to desertification.
Cork sustainability was part of what saved the Portuguese wine stopper. In the early 2000s, winemakers began turning to synthetic closures and screw tops for bottles, and the value of cork plummeted. But as consumers became more environmentally conscious in the 2010s,
the movement against single-use plastics that is happening all over the world, it's a real opportunity for cork.
Cork exports grew 52.3% in nearly a decade. In 2018, Portugal passed a record $1 billion worth of cork exports.
Exports, we kept that number and very close to 1.1 billion in 2019. And now we are waiting for the final numbers of 2020. But as a global pandemic, as a global crisis, we are expecting also some impact in our business.
Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the 2020 harvest didn't stop.
The cork harvest this year happened very smooth. We are talking about an activity that it's done at open air, it's out.
The industry's success in the last decade has allowed Portugal to take its cork products into other industries.
From construction to automotive industry, to aerospatial, to sports, fashion, clothes.
But even as cork demand continues to grow, harvesters plan to keep doing things the same way they always have, with a good axe.